Hey Scrappy Peeps, Susanna here today for ThermOWeb, and I'm sharing with you this layout that is a sketch-inspired layout that is actually a National Scrapbook Day challenge. So this is the sketch, and if you care to, you shop over at ThermOWeb using the code NSD19. It's 30% off and free shipping all weekend. So there are two parts to this tutorial, and then the rest of the video is going to be process video. I have used a stencil here that I have covered bits and pieces of the butterflies with the 1.5 inch purple tape. This is a very busy stencil, and I really only wanted part of a few of the butterflies to show through, because otherwise if I used all of the butterflies it was going to be very busy. And I am using the new Deco foil Metallix gel, and I am using the aged copper color. Typically I would apply this with the stencil pal also from ThermOWeb. However, it is very big and it was dragging the purple tape and pulling that up, and I didn't want that. So I'm kind of messing around with it's actually a Cricut picker-upper thinger. I don't know what the term for that thing is. It's the metal little scoop spatula thing and a palette knife. And it doesn't go down as nicely as I would like, partly because I have to lift the stencil up and I don't want to stick it back down into the stuff that I've already put down, and I'm impatient and don't want to wait for it to dry before I use it the second time. So that is going to be part of the background of this layout. Then the next thing that I'm doing is I'm creating that flower that I showed you there using a die. And so what I've done is I've taken a piece of the Deco foil foam adhesive sheet, and I've stuck a piece of the green on there, and that is going to be the background, as you can see, of the flower. And then I'm just going to take a piece of pink cardstock, and I'm going to run that through, and that will be the second layer of the flower. And then I'm going to take just a piece of the pink, or otherwise known as Think Pink, that right there, flock, and I'm going to put that in my die face down with the flock down and run that through, so that this flower is composed of 3 layers. One of the flock pieces has foam, that green envy, which is the background, and then I have cardstock, and then I have the third layer, which is that Think Pink. That's a tongue twister. I'd initially used my tweezers to pull that out, but I didn't want to remove the flock, which I remember happened on the first flower that I created there. So I've got a it's actually it's a Vicky Bouton tool that doesn't have a sharp edge. It's got a rounded edge, and so you are less likely to pull a flock up. And then I am using my awesome ThermOWeb UltraBond adhesive to stick those things down. And I love using the UltraBond with the flock because it sticks really well, and you don't have to worry about that coming up on you later on. So I've created 2 flowers there from that flock, and I am now going to create this layout based on the sketch using those flock elements, or flocked elements, as decorative elements. So the sketch calls for a multi-layer header and footer with 2 pictures in the center of that column, which is skewed off to the left-hand side of the page. But you could skew it to the right, you could put it in the center. Just because it's there doesn't mean that that's where you have to put it. And you can see that instead of the hearts that are going down the sketch, I opted to use those butterflies that I did with the Deco foil metallic gel. You do need to let that set for a while, and when you're applying it, it has a bit of a sort of a matte look to it, and then once it's dry it has a really cool metallic sheen to it, which you will see much better in the close-ups. It's really hard to capture the metallic sheen on anything when you're just kind of in a flat, non-lit, without the light hitting it the right way sort of setting, as I'm doing here. So I've got the header and the footer. I am designing with the Paige Evans Horizon collection, and I actually have the paper pad or the paper project pad, and that comes with accompanying cardstock with it, which I am going to use, which actually is what I used in the flower there. And then I'm just going to continue to build the layers. So I chose the aged copper foil metallic gel because some of the pattern papers in this collection have a gold foil to them, and the aged copper matches that gold metallic in the pattern paper much better than the actual gold. The gold in the Metallix gel is more of a rosy kind of a gold, or I'm going to say a yellow gold, whereas this aged copper is more of a bronzy gold, if that makes any sense. And so they coordinated much better. So I have two pictures, and these are pictures of my daughter when she was going through her slime phase, hence the name of the layout, that is Slimy Experience. And the color of the slime that she created is sort of that, it's actually a red, but it's sort of a pinky red, which is why I chose this collection and used those photos there. So what I did there was I pulled out a card from the ephemera pack, and that's where I decided I wanted to nestle the journaling, because the way that the layout is laid out, there really isn't much room to put journaling. I could have put it over on the right hand side of the page, but that kind of detracts from all of the fun elements, and I really do like to share the story on my projects, so that's what I opted for there. So I am going to adhere down that photo and make it into a place where I can put the hidden journaling, and I'm going to use some double-sided tape there. I prefer to use double-sided tape when I'm making a journaling pocket, because that way I can, if you use adhesive, especially if you use dots, it's not that clean, crisp edge, and your card can still slide into those dots and pick up the adhesive and then make it tacky, which I don't want. I want it to be able to slide up and down. And so that is going behind that photo, and that's where the journaling will be. And you can see in the close-ups better how I pull that out. I have not yet journaled in there. Actually, I'm hoping to get my daughter to journal in there. As the kids have grown older, I've tried really hard to get them to tell their stories rather than me share their stories. So I'm just creating a thread bundle, as I call them, behind this bottom floral, and I just like the way that that adds some movement to the page, and it goes with the movement of the butterflies. Now you see I've got the pink blob of the slime in the photo, and then I've got the pink floral, and so I'm trying to balance the weight and the heaviness of those pink elements down the page, which is why I end up putting that floral, the top flower more to that top left hand side, so that you've got the pink in the header, you've got the pink in the floral, you've got the pink in the slime, and then you've got that bottom pink, so it kind of moves your eye, it kind of zigzags your eye down the page is the idea there. So I've just pulled out some of the other elements from the ephemera pack. I've got two butterflies and a dragonfly, and I'm going to put those in. And again, it's just to add some movement to the page, a little bit more visual interest, and kind of wrap things up there. And I am using, again, I really like this UltraBond adhesive. You can put it on really thick, or you can put it on really thin. It just depends on the amount of pressure that you push to the bottle as to how much liquid you will get out. And it really takes just a little bit to get things adhered and well tacked down. So again, this is a sketch challenge for ThermOWeb. So if you go over to the blog and you create an entry, you can leave that in the comments over there. There's also a giveaway. So the sketch, if you complete the challenge, counts as an entry, but there's also a Rafflecopter entry option as well for those of you who don't have time to scrapbook and really want to enter the giveaway. Don't forget that you can get 30% off and free shipping on all orders over $30 if you use the code NSD19. So to wrap up this layout, I'm just going to use these foam stickers and put Slimy above the already pre-foiled word experience. So that, my friends, is going to wrap up my sketch-inspired layout for ThermOWeb using the Deco foil flock and the Deco foil metallic gel. So you can see how great the embellishments are that you can create with this for your scrapbooking purposes. So enjoy the close-ups. Thanks for stopping in today. I hope you're inspired to play along with the sketch. I can't wait to see what you create with it. Thanks for stopping in today. Take care.